To eat or not to eat? That is the question. No, it's not to eat or not to eat. That's a very simple response you'll get. It's to eat. But it's to exercise or not to exercise. That is the question. So by show of hands, how many of you would be willing to get up in the morning, 5 or 6, to go for a jog? Any volunteers? Okay, just a handful. So not most of you. As you all may know and have heard, there are proponents, way more proponents than opponents, who suggest to you that exercising has its health benefits. But let me tell you what I think. That's totally played out. What they fail to acknowledge, or it's often ignored, is there's injury involved. Yes, injury. You ever hear about injury when they talk about exercise? Not so often. And the more you exercise, the more likely it is for you to be injured. We've all heard of the mantra, no pain, no gain. Just the thought of me prior to saying it, it's how ridiculous it sounds. No pain, no gain. If anything, pain, it's telling you very valuable information, and it's not to ignore it or push through it. Pushing through it, continue placing your hands on boiling stovetop pots. That will make you think otherwise. Pain is a signal telling you and your body to stop what you're doing and try something else. Exercise affects your body, affects your health negatively in 3 ways. And I'll start with, first, your physical health. Physical injuries normally arise from overuse, force, or impact to a certain body part, and then so much that it cannot withstand, and then you get hurt. When you get hurt, you might think, oh, it's easy to overlook, I just had a tumble, it's just a slight ankle sprain. But that's what you think. What if it's a bone fracture? In that case, and you continue to wish to exercise, the outlook doesn't pan out too well, I would envision for you. You would probably feel that it's nothing big, slighted, and then see that it's, and if you continue to exercise with it, you probably would damage it more and delay whatever recovery it was supposed to have. And that's not to mention, premature aging is also part of it. When you continue to exercise outdoors or in the sun a lot, you develop a look, an outdoorsy look. And by that I mean a look of a dry prune.
Oh my God.
Is that appealing to you? Maybe not to the vast majority of the public. So with a broken down body and over tense muscles, that will probably drive up your costs and would require extensive wherewithal for upkeep. Unless, of course, you prefer a lighter wallet. In that case, you could take longer strides, more at ease. But for most of us and other people, it will probably be concern. Brings us to our next point, your financial health. Do you know that you're injured? Do you know how severe your injury is? If the answer is no, what would you do? You would go see a doctor. Seeing a doctor, he'll give you responses that involve, oh, this is how long we think your recovery process is, how severe your injury is, and what limitations you'll have in the interim. Okay, and his responses will probably consist of words such as probably, possibly, likely to. It doesn't sound like he's too sure what he's saying either. So the next course of action he'll probably tell you is, oh, I'll prescribe physical therapy for you. Just go there, I'll help you out with your recovery. At that point, I don't know whether you recognize that circumstance and situation, but that's not a good sign. I really would hope not most of us would not reach that point, but you probably would have to incur some costs. And I really would hope you had some health insurance or some extensive medical coverage. If not, then I suggest you give a call to your carrier to see what your policy actually covers. And in that call, you'll get some surprises. And that's not to even mention the time that you may miss from work. Think about all the headaches, problems, and inconveniences that you and your teammates will have. Oh, Cyrus is not coming into work today. Okay, well. So with that, you think about in the perspective of your teammates. Don't be so selfish and be considerate. Be mindful of the big picture. Also, most injuries that you sustain, the costs aren't really covered by workers' compensation. So in that case, you would have to pay more from your pocket. Digging deeper into your budgeting. Think about how much that would be a mental strain for you should these injuries reoccur. That brings us to my third point. Your mental health. When faced with an injury, you'll probably have to have two stages to understand what the injury is, and number two, coping with it. Hopefully injury for you is infrequent, but there's two things that's definite. It's unavoidable and unpredictable. So there will be emotional responses linked to that injury. People will have them at different times, no particular order. You might be sad, frustrated, anger, lack of motivation, loss of appetite, changing dieting and sleeping habits. But most importantly, depression is in. Depression is that one response that amplifies during the time of injury all your other responses. And that will bring out more symptoms of depression, such as sadness or irritability. So many injured individuals would fail to acknowledge it. I mean, they choose not to acknowledge it for the fact of being judged as others as weak, since many of them have been exercising religiously and rigorously for the fear of being judged as weak and no longer being able to perform at their usual task. So they may choose to hide their current standing, and this is a challenge for those injured individuals to overcome, to the point at which they must understand recognizing these mental health symptoms as well as those issues from physical health are equally as important, and they must be recognized and remedied in a timely manner. So I've given you a brief overview as to why exercise may not be for everyone. It hits you from various directions. I mean, I'm sure there are some of you who wouldn't mind multiple hip replacements, multiple knee replacements, and not being able to play with your grandchildren in your backyard when you get older and without some aches and pains across your body. But there are some of us who would just, in general, prefer not to shower too often, have sore muscles, just tired of sweating, complain that the weather is too hot, too cold, or just flat out hate exercising. So I've given you an idea to eat or not to eat, whether you make a decision to exercise or not. I think you should do yourself a favor, make that commitment, and take a break. Because there are reasons as to how exercise can physically, financially, and mentally break you.
All right.